Okay, problem A is x plus 1 over x plus x minus 3 divided by 2x equals 2x plus 7 over 3x. Now, first thing we want to do here is find a common denominator, and that is we have to find the multiples of all these numbers to make it the smallest number possible. So you can just put a 1 in front of x to be reminded that you need to find a multiple of 1 and 2 and 3. This is the smallest number. So 3x is the smallest number, is it's multiplied by 2 is 6. And it fits with every one of them. So we're going to use to get 6x. So multiply this by 2 and on top as well 2. And to get 6 here, you have to do times 3, and times 3 up here as well. And to get 6, we have to do 6 and 6. Now, and we multiply, we'll do think of distributive property, like having 6 in front of x plus 1 distributing, having 3 in front of x minus 3, and having 2 in front of 2x plus 7. And you get 6x plus 6 plus 3x minus 9 equals 14 plus 4x, or 4x plus 14, however you want to arrange that. Now, we think we need to look on the left side of the equation that we do have like terms. We can combine like terms. We can use 6x and 3x and 6 and negative 9. So we can use this. 6x plus 3x, 9x, and 6 minus 9 is negative 3, so 9x minus 3 equals 14 plus 4x. Now, the best thing to do is subtract the coefficients instead of the numbers. So subtract 4x from both sides. Keep it positive because it makes the problem easier to understand for me, in my opinion. And then you get 5x minus 3 equals 14. And then you add 3 to both sides. 5x equals 17, then divide by 5. And then you get x equals 17 over 5. Okay, our next problem is 5x minus 2 over x squared equals 3 divided by 4x. Now, there's some ways that you can actually do this problem for your first step, but you can either cross multiply or find a common denominator. What I would like to do, since there are multiple, these are radicals, like different exponents. For example, this is squared, and this has a pretend 1 power. I like to do more just more finding a common denominator because it's like more safe. You can work better with it, in my opinion. So first thing we can do, we can find a common denominator. So we have 4x right here and x squared, and since we can't decrease the radical, but we can increase it though. There's nothing wrong with that. So for example, we do x right here and x on top, and think about what we're gonna do here. Since that's 4x squared, what can we put in front of here? We can just put a 4. Same thing on top. Now, we do have our common denominator now. So, now we have 5x minus 2 over 4x squared equals 3x. You just multiply 3x and 4x squared. Now you have a common denominator, and this is an irrational expression, so you're not going to need the fraction anymore. That's all gone. It's not going to affect the problem at all. So now you can just distribute through the parentheses. 20x minus 8 equals 3x. Now you're thinking, now we can subtract. This is a regular equation, maybe multi-step or two-step. Now we can subtract 20x from both sides. And multi-step when you do the distributive property, then when you come here. Now it's a two-step. We get negative 8 equals negative 17x. You divide negative 17 to both sides. Those cancel. And now since they're both negative, they're positive, so x equals 8 over 17.
Alright, the first step is to find a common denominator, which in this case would be 48x to the second. Here it needs a 48, so you multiply both the bottom and the top by 48. Over here it needs 2x, so you can multiply by 2x, both top and bottom. And then over here you just need x to the second, so you can do some multiplying. So now you have common denominators, so they can just go away, and you end up with 48 equals 2x plus x to the second. Now you want to subtract by 48 both sides, and then that, which you can factor. So you need something that adds to 2 and multiplies to negative 48, and that would be negative 6 and 8. So you have negative 6 and then 8, and then you have x, add 6, subtract 8, x equals negative 8, and then you have your answers. Alright, so Mary takes 2 hours to plant 500 flower bulbs, and Francis takes 3 hours to plant 450 bulbs. They want to know how long it'll take them to plant 1,500 bulbs if they work together. So the first thing you want to do is find the average speed that they are making flowers, planting them. So Mary can plant 500 in 2 hours, which is 250 in 1 hour. And then Francis can plant 450 bulbs in 3 hours, which is 150 per hour. So now you got to find out how many hours it's going to take them to plant 1,500. So you have 250 x equals, no, that's also wrong, plus 150x equals 1,500. And then you add these, you simplify it, and you get 400 x equals 1,500. You divide by 400, divide by 400, and then x equals a number. It equals 3.75